Hello and welcome back to Task Force Admiral. As the loading screen clears, this is a follow-up to yesterday's. Was it yesterday's? It seems like longer. This is a follow-up to my previous streaming session where we did our very first playthrough with this game, Task Force Admiral. And so this is literally the second time I've started this game. So I've not been doing a whole load of training on it in the background. So if my play is rubbish, it's partly because I don't understand the game. It's partly because I'm actually pretty rubbish. So okay, now overnight there's been an update from the developers. As it says here, you can see some of these updates starting to flow through already. Now I haven't noticed a lot of bugs, I'll have to say. I haven't come across bugs. It's not to say there aren't any, but I didn't. Even though I played through the other night, I didn't notice a whole lot of bugs. I complained a bit about some of the user interface decisions that have been made. Just trying to adjust the volumes here. Okay. Yeah, I complained a little bit about some of the decisions. Some of the decisions made about the user interface. But I didn't notice a whole lot of bugs. So, but obviously there are some there, and they've been busy fixing them, which is great. And now this is very much an early access. Game at the moment. So as we saw yesterday, there's only one mission with, or one scenario with a variant of it. So that's the one we were playing, and that's the one we're going to return to. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of reintroduction. If you wanted to see the general introduction as I saw it in the when I first opened the game yesterday, go and watch the previous episode. So let's load up where we got to. Now, where did we get to last time? We were not doing terribly well. That's the short answer. So this is a battle, or an element of the battle for Coral Sea, if not the battle for Coral Sea. I'm not too familiar with the historical actually what happened in the battle of the Coral Sea, but this is certainly the major part of it, I would imagine. And it's, yes, we do wish to resume recording. That's very interesting that it knows we're resuming. Okay. Oh, it's daytime now. Right, okay. Or at least, yeah, there's daylight coming in through the porthole. Map in fleet management. I wonder if we were supposed to be using this interface much. I didn't think about this after the session yesterday, but to me it's not a very practical environment to be. I can select between map, fleet management. That's it. Alright, let's go to the map. Does that work like that? Right, okay. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to stop that. So I paused because I just want to quickly reacquaint myself and you with what is happening. So, okay, this is where we are now. Let's get rid of this for a minute. Yeah, so this is where we are at the moment. So we're in the Coral Sea, hence why it's called the Battle of the Coral Sea. and this is as zoomed out as it gets, apparently. Okay. Right. Our main task force, well, our only ship, what would you call it, surface force that we're in control of, is this Task Force 17, which is a carrier-based force with two carriers, the Yorktown and Lexington. You can see the rundown here of what's in Task Force 17. A whole load of destroyers, quite a few, 5 cruisers, and then, well, yeah, 8 destroyers. But the destroyers and the cruisers are just there really to shield the, or try and protect the Yorktown and the Lexington. Now we know from, or I say we, the US Navy, the US forces know, or have very good intelligence, that there was or is a large Japanese surface fleet, probably with carriers, and originally this was their known estimated location inside this ringed area here. This is a map, by the way, so top-down 2D view, and but we subsequently, once the game started, we launched a lot of search patterns out into this general area, and finally we picked up the Japanese carrier fleet here. And can I? No, I still can't do anything with that. So, oops. Let's not go through that again. What have I done? Turn to menu options. Close. Do I want to? Am I? Alright, okay. Yeah. So we now know where the enemy fleet is, but in the time it took for us to find the enemy fleet, somehow they seem to have known exactly where we were and launched an attack. Now I think they did send out, we did maybe spot a couple of reconnaissance planes, and I just didn't engage them. I just didn't engage them. We had a combat air patrol out, as well as those search patterns, and maybe the combat air patrol did engage them, but I guess they probably radioed back our position. And I think as soon as I think I didn't pick up on the fact that we located the Japanese fleet as at the moment it was identified, and therefore time ticked on. Also, what I wanted to have done is to have pre-planned, what I should have done is pre-planned an assault force, so that as soon as I knew where the actual Japanese fleet was, in fact I could have launched, I don't know if I could have launched the assault fleet and then redirected it, the assault strike package as they call it, if I could have launched that intending it to go into this circle and then diverted it once we picked up the location of the enemy fleet. I don't know about that, but I didn't do it, and also it would have been difficult to do it anyway. And this is the bit I'm a bit slightly more puzzled by, is that from as far as I can tell, based on the information, as far as I can best understand it, our bomber aircraft don't have the range to get to these Japanese ships, and yet their aircraft appear to have, well, they've come over in several waves and attacked us from the same distance. So there's something a bit odd there, because this is not a small difference, it's quite a significant difference in that our range is only about 2/3 or half the way to the Japanese fleet. So how is it they're able to send over their attack forces at that range? That's the bit I'm not entirely clear about. Possibly, and now I say this, possibly there's some other force out here I'm not aware of. We did a big search pattern, we didn't pick anything else up. This appears to be the 2 carriers that we were expecting, so I'm a little bit confused. Anyway, yes, so we got a bit of a walloping. Let's have a look how the ships are doing now. If we go to 3D, I got our fleet got a bit of a walloping from the Japanese, and you can see this, the holes in the deck there, And the Lexington, she's still aflame. Look at that. That's not good at all. That's going to be a massive hole someone's going to have to repair. So yeah, we've taken quite the battering, but we're still going. The Yorktown's repaired. The Lexington's been repaired once and was coming back into operation when he got hit again. So yeah, we're we're having our difficulties now. I have kicked off preparation for a major assault. Pretty much I can't remember exactly what we did yesterday, but I think pretty much every bomber that I had available is now being prepped for a mass attack on the Japanese. We're just going to throw everything at it. No subtlety at all in this. No tactics really, which is probably why I'm not doing too well. So yeah, that's where we are. Now my my concern is, here you can see some of the Japanese running off and they're being chased off by some of the fighters. One aircraft. Okay, so just a handful of American aircraft chasing after them, which we can have a look at. Planning, see, now here it doesn't show. You are 3 fighters. So we got our 3 fighters there. Just check how we're doing. He's doing a turn, but on to what? Not too sure. He seems to be busy. Hello, this guy's... Ah. Okay, so the pilot has bailed out. And I'd say that's what you would call an unrecoverable fault. A wing, or most of it. And another wing, there seems to be a slight problem with wing attachment on these planes. Look at that, it's taking quite a heavy battering, judging by these pockmarks. So put up a stern fight. These 3 fighters were all I could get to scramble at short notice to fend off dozens of attack aircraft. But they did their best, and clearly 2 of them, I'm afraid, have ended with a pilot's having to bail out. I'm only hoping we've got some kind of... I wonder if I also launch some kind of rescue mission. Is that even a thing in this game? The other thing I picked up on, or thought about after the game yesterday, was we've got this thing, these seaplanes. Task Force 17 seaplanes. And I realised I've been concentrating on the forces launching off the Yorktown and Lexington, but fleet defences. But I'm wondering if I maybe missed a trick. Have we got? Do seaplanes launch from any of the other? I mean, they won't be launching from destroyers presumably, but maybe to these. Direction. I'm just wondering, do fleet information. Do these? Oh, okay. That's not very useful. Defensive air ops. So we've got these caps out. Fighter direction. Okay, let's recover all. Return to base. FDO in charge. Flight something officer. What am I looking at? Oh, I see. Now I can actually see things on here. Friendly. Enemy. Oh right, I didn't realise. I thought this has got more information on it than I was expecting. All flights. Okay. I can't change the centre, it doesn't appear, so I kind of not overly useful, I don't think. I don't know, I haven't quite got, I was complaining yesterday about the UI, and I'm clearly I need to learn quite a bit more about this. I don't want to edit the formation. Okay, so this one I don't understand what it's a pretty picture, but what am I supposed to do with this? I'm sure this must be, I can assign things to hang AI. I really have no idea what I'm supposed to do with that. Okay. So this nav strike 09, 37 aircraft. So I've ordered these fighters to return to base. Should I not have? You see, I would love to right click and go in and edit it, but no, that's not how you get to that. I wonder if I should have attached some fighters, or I don't know if they have the range. That's my ignorance. Ideally, I'd pair these with fighters because they're certainly going to be a fighter cover over the enemy carriers, and I imagine that the slower moving, especially the torpedo bombers, are really going to be getting a bit of a pasting if I'm not careful. But there again, I don't know that the maybe they've got, can they carry drop tanks and give them more range? I'm not too sure. We're already at the limit of the range of the bombers, so I kind of worry that the fighters have got no chance over the same distance. But maybe I ought to. But you see, once again, there was a clipboard, I seem to remember. Maybe it's under this strike. The way in which different panels are kind of hidden, located, etc., I find to be quite frustrating. Why have we got icons up at the top left and then other tabs down here on the bottom right? I can't understand why the sort of the logic of how this UI has been set out is I'm struggling a bit with. It's certainly somewhat complicated to move between the different menus. I don't want to criticise it too much because I haven't read the manual. There's probably easier ways of trying to get to what I would like to do, but as you saw with there's a lack of ability. I'm trying to right click on this, nothing. Here I can interact with the plus or minus, but that's it. So I've got 10 fighters. Now I can create an escort. Let's put 6 fighters up with the 1 dive bomber that's available. Pick target. Okay, target. This guy. Ah, that looks like we're now. Why? Okay, that looks like we're now in range, or we will be well in range. Contact 009. Best possible date 10:20. Time, what's the time now? Don't quite understand what I'm looking at. It's 10:15. How could it possibly take off at 10:20? Right then, okay. Standard time, normal departure, offensive power. I don't know. Yeah. Call sign sugar. See, I can't fiddle with that. Perhaps Lexington's out of action still. Alright. Tactical order. Green light. Let's go for green light. Okay, I think I did that correctly. Tactical orders. Doesn't make any sense, can't click on that. Did I create a mission? Okay, I don't know. That's the short answer. I don't quite understand this because yeah, I don't understand. Why is the rate? See, I'm currently here, my fleet is here. I'm trying to send bombers over to attack this task force. Which is 18 nautical miles away. I thought we were a long way away. So what's this red disc representing? I'm not entirely sure I understand. Okay, anyhow, let's kick off. Let's get going. Now it's currently stuck. I don't want to cancel. Do I just close the left-hand chart? Yes, perhaps that's it. Okay, and now you see that chart is not the same chart, it's a different chart now because I'm in a different view, which I kind of get, but is that really, why can't I bring up the tasking while looking at the 3D view? I suppose I need to pick things off a map, that's probably the logic. Alright, it looks like the Lexington, the fire looks to be out. Let's see, what does it say? Damage on the Lexington is light. Propulsion operation 62%. Okay, so can I go back to this now? Can I, oh dear, I have to press strike, don't I? Can I now launch a strike from the Lexington? Let's freeze this again because I'm worried I'm going to get something's going to happen and I'm not looking. Can I launch a strike from the Lexington? Well, I find it a bit odd that I can't zoom in on the map and select it. Okay, if I go down here and select the Lexington. Right, so there's not a red arrow, so that's just to me. I should be able to... Oh, now I can select the Lexington. Right, I'm going to launch every goddamn plane. We're going to whip Japanese ass, however the Americans would pronounce it. I'm going to get every last thing up. including 3 escorts. Right, pick target. Let's pick the target. Okay. Warning, 311 nautical miles. So landings. So have this calculation is saying the aircraft will be unable to land because they will run out of fuel about 20 minutes, 24 minutes before they get to even start the landing, and a lot of them will be an hour. I think, well, I'm hoping to make up for this problem by having my fleet move at top speed. It's supposed to be doing 30 knots towards the target. So let's think about it. It's doing 30 nautical miles. Let's hope that's what I asked for. It's doing 30 nautical miles. Assuming that they launch when they say, which is, well, it doesn't matter when they launch. They're going to be coming back for a landing about 10:20 to 1. So in that time, where are we now? 10 o'clock. We're talking about 2 to 3 hours. It won't be a full 3 hours because we'll have closed the distance a bit. So let's ignore that though. Let's say they're going to land at 1. Let's start landing at 12:30. 12:16, let's say, just to make it simple. So in 2 hours time, in 2 hours I've done 60 knots towards the enemy fleet. That means the aircraft will have to travel 60 knots, 60 nautical miles less. Okay, I'm doing a bit of a mental calculation here. So we're going to shave 60 nautical miles off the full return journey. So it's going to have to travel out the distance they are when the ships, for the distance of where they are now, pretty much, because they're going to take off in just a few minutes. So wait a minute now. Distance to target 217 nautical miles. Total distance 311 nautical miles. Switch time countdown. I don't know. Okay. Offensive power. Endurance. Why do we go for endurance? Fuel reserves. No, because probably endurance. Oh, there's a tooltip here. So I'm not too sure about this. Base distance to RP. Outer fuel. What I don't know is, does this thing account for this outer fuel time? Does this account for? No, it probably doesn't. I will have moved the ship 60 nautical miles closer to them, so the planes have to travel 60 nautical miles less. So will that be enough to account for this difference? I'm not sure that it will, because that's an hour of flight. An hour of flight is a lot more than 60 nautical miles. These planes are probably travelling a couple hundred knots. So in an hour. So having said that, they're not going to take off for at least 15 minutes. If they don't take off for 15 minutes, I'll travel 15 minutes. That's just not going to make much difference. I wonder if I want to delay takeoff. I don't really want to delay. I would love to launch straight away, but that's nearly an hour. That puts us 40-50 nautical miles closer, and that's helps at both ends because I'm closer on takeoff, and I'm going to be even closer on when they come back into land. I guess, but what I don't know is these two times are very close to each other now. So out of fuel, let's add another 10 minutes. Out of fuel 12. Ends. I think we might just scrape with that. That's not very safe. I'm sure this would not be officially allowed, but what I'm not sure about is how. I guess it could take account of what I'm planning to do with the ships because I've got them, but it may not do. I don't know. I'm going to go with that. Do I? No, I don't. Do I need to resave that? You see, it doesn't tell me if that's what's been decided. Okay. Let's return to the 3D world. So, the ships are steaming along. Let's see how's the Lexington doing. What I would like to know is what speed is she making. Can't see that. Status, that might be a useful thing if it works. Can't see that. Surely that's a basic piece of information. Can I see that on the map? No, I won't be able to see it on the map, will I? Because I can't resolve the individual ships on the map. Oh right, here we are, 26 knots. Didn't see it. I do apologise. It wasn't. The information is there, just not standing out. So yeah, we're doing 26 knots, rejoining station. So have we fallen out of position? I guess we have, because we're a long way. We were much closer to the Yorktown previously. So the Yorktown is doing 30 knots. So actually, that's a bit of a concern because the Lexington is only making 26 knots. And what's happening to the engines? I haven't really looked at this very much. Radar. Some things are disabled. Okay. What I'm interested in is propulsion. Oh dear. So we've lost 3. How many engines have we got? 6. No. We've got 8 engines. Of the 8, 3 are out of action. Are they going to be repaired? Pump. Fire and flood. So these arrows look like they should be leading off some kind of annotation, but they don't. Hello? Is that an aircraft landing? Now there's a puzzle here because seaplanes there are no obvious seaplanes here. It seems to me that, so here we've got a list here of all the aircraft that have been tasked with something. An obvious thing to have added onto this would have been a list of aircraft not tasked, just sitting around doing nothing, because then I could, from this list, pick them and go, right, I want you to do X. But no, that's not how this is working. So this is where I say I think the UI to do with a bit more thought. These are all fixable, very easily fixable things. As long as the basic game engine is working and the fantastic graphics, the damage modeling, the AI, all those things, if they're all good, things like UI can be addressed quite straightforwardly. Right. So I'm just thinking, what am I supposed to be doing now? What should I be doing? Hello. What is this aircraft? Contact history. It's a bit confusing. So these aircraft were reported by a destroyer. Where are they off to? Are they going to attack us from the south? That's a bit odd. Makes you wonder. These are greyed out. Yeah, I'm not too sure. This must be a friendly aircraft. Okay, so hostile aircraft are flying off, which is nice. Green, what does that mean? Mission ready. Squadrons. I'm finding this quite perplexing. How can I tell from this view if I've got any aircraft not doing something? Alright, the hangar is 100% operational. All fighters to flight deck. I don't know. I find this very tricky to understand what is actually going on. Let's read what it says here. 5 aircraft are parked on the deck. I'd have to know something about carrier operations to know quite what the significance of that is. I'm assuming these are ready to go. And because they're green, they're mission ready. If they're not, they're just unassigned. So I've got a whole lot of unassigned aircraft here apparently on the Yorktown. Is that right? If we go to can I assign more strike packages? Why can I not? See, that strike box has disappeared now. Is it because I'm in the seaplane? Yes. Oh god. Right, so this is context dependent. Oh dear. I suppose I should have realised that. Okay, so this menu over here is context dependent. Can I launch another strike package? I've got some fighters, I've got a couple of dive bombers, so let's keep those in our pocket for now. And on the Lexington, this is looking a bit more healthy, so I can launch another 8. I think I'm going to keep those back for a bit. I think what's happening is a lot of the search planes are sent out. They were all bombers of some kind. They were recovered. They've been refueled and they're now ready. Should I be prepping what I would like to be able to do, and this is what we talked about yesterday, is prepare a mission, get these aircraft ready. I don't know how long it takes to get them ready. But here it's saying best possible date 10/26, so just minutes away. So I feel like I don't need to rush if they. I mean, I thought it took hours to do this, but apparently not. So the range to the enemy carriers is 214 nautical miles from the Yorktown. Okay, so let's go back to this seaplanes business. Search, scramble. Can I create a new air search? Type. So SPD3. Is SPD a seaplane? From the Yorktown, Lexington. Okay, let's launch one aircraft because I think that seems sensible. Yeah. Have I got a lot of aircraft still doing searching? Because I don't want that. How can I just cancel that? Search 8. Search 1. Debriefing. Can I not? How do I? Is that? So it's showing me here timing. I'm kind of confused now. Is it going to try and launch more of these? I don't want it to. This is ticking on with time, so I think that suggests to me nothing's going to happen. Okay. Right, let's accelerate a bit. So what's supposed to be happening? Oh, good heavens. We've got the usual problem, I can't see what's going on. Right, these search aircraft are coming back. Presumably that's one that's sunk. These guys are planning. This now strikes returning. Really? Oh dear, oh dear, what the earth's going on? why is this guy returning? I didn't even know anyone had taken off. I thought ingress meant returning, now it's saying en route. En route to the target, en route from the target. Ingress to me implies it's coming back. So this is nav strike 16. Let's go to the map. Oh, okay, so this is nav strike 16. And you see why why can this not be identified as nav strike 16? I find that rather frustrating. So let's move. No. What I want to do is move. Where is this going? Seems to be going in the wrong direction. So I'll put a waypoint over here. Let's put that around like that. Right. Oh, that's interesting. I can see when it's going to get to a certain place. So that bomber force is going to be back by about 1-ish, well, somewhere about here. I would like these ships to speed up if they can. Section 1 here is escorting Section 2. So these guys have taken off. I didn't even watch that. That's annoying. So they're escorting. I don't understand. I strongly suspect I have no idea what I'm doing. So we've got an escort mission here. But escorting who exactly? This is a dive like one. Mr. Quigley. He's en route, which is great. I did assign. There was one. Where are they? Nav strike 16. Nav strike 16 consists of 6 escort planes escorting 1 bomber. I think I did create something like that, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. Right, search these dive bombers. Where are they? They're debriefing. It says here. I mean, they're still in the air. What's going on? So these dive bombers are armed. Colour me very, very confused. I am very, very confused, and the amount of information available to me in its kind of Byzantine form is not giving me the information I can't relate what I'm seeing on the map to what's here. Okay. So where are these dive bombers? Just in the middle of the sea, apparently. These are the dive bombers? So, as A appears to be a lone dive bomber. A load of dive bombers seem to be in the sea. Okay, this guy looks like he's about to land. He's landing. He's landing. Well, I'm saying he's landing. They've got no bombs. These fighters, that one's in the drink, Okay, now strike. This looks more like a proper package. So we've got dive bombers, torpedo bombers, escort. Now they're in the planning stage, so we should not see any of these flying, I hope. Otherwise I'll be very, very confused. No, okay. Oh, it even shows you the individual crew on each. See, they're on deck telling you. Not showing me. So I click that. Why do I not see Charles Hamilton on deck? On deck of what? PT2. ES2. Okay. A heck of a lot here I don't understand. Right, so these two are in planning, so they're not going to be flying. That's what you would hope. Okay. They're in a queue. Scramble. Debriefing. Good. Search number 1. Debriefing. Even though we found one of them. Which one was it? This one here seems to be on a lone wolf, but look, there's some guys behind. So who are these guys? Are these the escort fighters? No, that didn't work. They must have been these escort fighters. So somewhere up in front of me is... there he is. They're escorting this lone dive bomber. So I think this is a bit of a bug because these are on a these guys are on a now strike. Why is that bomber still under search number 1? Doesn't make any sense. Never mind. So these dive bombers are on the way home, I'm hoping. I thought it was ingress and egress. Formation en route. Oh well. Mr. Quigley is the one with the escorts. So Quigley was also reported down here. I don't know, Mr. Quigley's very quick off the mark, obviously. Right. So Quigley's attending to business. This is Quigley and his 6 escort fighters. Aha! I've just realised what this is trying to tell me on the map. Rabaul is somewhere up here, I presume. The centre of that circle, can't see it. So there's an airbase, Japanese I presume, somewhere to the north here, and this dashed line represents the maximum range. So we do not want to put our fleet inside of that dashed line if we can avoid it. Otherwise we'll come under direct air attack from the land forces. Not that we won't suffer under carrier. So the carrier attack waves that were returned, we didn't shoot down them all, I'm afraid. We shot down a fair few, but not all of them. So they will be busy refueling and rearming for a second, however you want to term it, further waves of attacks. So we're now in a bit of a race, and the question is, can we get, well, the first thing is, can we get our attack waves, our attack formations off the carriers in time before we get another attack wave coming. But what I don't want to do is have them all up and ready to go, and then the enemy bombers come in and wreck our planned missions. So no crew. So Yorktown looks to have a lot of unassigned aircraft. I think it's time to plan some more strikes. So from the Lexington, let's pick the target. We know the target. Still getting range warnings. Okay. All our dive bombers. No torpedo bombers. Okay, that's just going to be a detachment of dive bombers. And deferred departure. Standard time, early spotting. No idea what that means. So again, looking at this, they're going to be out of fuel. Should just be about okay. So I'm going to green light that mission. And then let's switch to the Yorktown. I find this a bit odd. Why do I have to do this? And it's not even. It's tricky. So now I have to go and do another strike, do I? How bizarre. Why can't I have changed? Well, couldn't I have changed the... See, it looks like you can change it in here. Okay, anyhow. So we've got two dive bombers. So this is not consistent with what I'm seeing on the deck. The Yorktown has got all of these aircraft. Seem to be unassigned, no crew, unassigned. Why can I not task them? I've only got two available to me, so I'm not going to bother. But what's going on? Why are they unassigned? Confusing. Okay. It comes a point when you go, well, it's 24-hour clock here. Let's just zoom forward in time. I'm a bit disappointed the ships are not moving that fast. What speed? Oh, hello. Right, let's freeze. Can't select contacts. I just can't help feel that there's some missed opportunities here in terms of being able to take action. Quite frustrating how the interface is working or not working. I don't understand what the purpose of half of this information is. So we want to strike again. No, I need to scramble. Do I not need to scramble? So I'm on the Yorktown. Let's scramble. All fighters will take off. Are you sure? Yes. Let's scramble. Okay, and let's go back to Yorktown. Where is the Yorktown? See, I have to reselect it. There we go. Okay, now let's see if we can get scramble fighters up in time. Or are we going to get a pasting? This is where a mini-map would be great, because I could see how are the enemy fighters faring. Are they coming in speed? We scramble the Yorktown. Should I scramble the Lexington? These guys are 15 kilometers weirdly out, so I don't think we're going to get much up in time. Let's go forward at 5 speed. See nothing, no scrambling is happening. Scramble again. Yes, I am sure. Well, they're just sailing on their merry way. Is anything going on beyond below deck? Is this a bit modelled? No, they're all just sat there doing nothing. No one's bothered. That sounds like an enemy aircraft overflying. Let's go back to the map. Oh. This wasn't an enemy aircraft. I was misled. So, scramble. No, don't scramble. But there is these things here. Okay, so is this like a fog of war thing? Imperfect information, so I've been told. Right, so we're turning to recover, I think. Oh no. Something's taking off. Hoping it's a mission. Oh no, they're moving, so that's okay, I understand that. They're moving, so somebody else can come in. Someone overflies, doing a circuit. Can't see them. Where have they got to? Here they are, coming into land now. Fantastic. Okay. We'll slow down to normal speed if we get another landing. Here we go. Right, let's watch this now in its full glory. And this is one of the key things that the developers have spent a lot of time getting right. See the carrier bobbing up and down as it goes over the waves. Fantastic, look at that bounce, all that's not so well modelled. Oh, a bit of a peek into the deck below. Wow, look at this, you can get a sort of Airman's view. That's a dive bomber landing. Will there be any more? We definitely lost a few. Right, the ship's turning back onto its course. That's just no one else is coming into land just yet. Okay, go back to the map. So things are progressing. Let's move this waypoint out here a bit. Okay. Something's kicking me down. I don't know what it's. You can set the timescale and then it will jump down. Okay, what's that? Our scouts report an enemy carrier force bearing 11 degrees, range 179 miles. Again, a different unit of distance. Nautical miles, this is meant to be? So we now have 2 carrier forces. 0 ships in this one. I've got a nasty feeling I'm going to have to go to my strike packages. I don't want them to create a new one, I want to go back, edit. Oh dear. How can I strike planning? Okay, can I edit that? Edit mission, yes. Well, that does do something useful. So the target, I really want to target this contact. Target, that's right. Okay, so I've changed that, thank goodness. Okay, let's green light that. Green light that. Best possible time is pretty much now, apparently. So that was interesting methodology. How do I? Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. Gosh, you can scroll. So this is good. Oh, right. Okay. So there's plenty of information here. Strike 30. No aircraft. This is the one I need to. Oh, there's more. This now strikes. I need to edit. No, it's not letting me. En route. I can't edit it while it's en route. Oh, okay, that makes sense, but it's annoying. Yeah, I'm in trouble now because these guys are heading off for 009. Will they will they come to a judgment and go, look, we're overflying, they're bound to spot 0104. Will they just carry on to a spot in the middle of nowhere where there is nothing and ignore the carrier fleet? That's what I'm trying to prevent. Now I'm starting to think we're getting a bit too close. Okay, let's go back here. What have we got? Okay, let's look at this carefully now. I think this is actually quite an important interface that I've clearly underestimated. So, search 1, status report. They returned at 8:51. Why are they still reporting? I'm going to freeze this. Mission report. Well, we're very. Who are these people? Naval Strike. Yorktown. Five bombers went out. Okay, this was a search. So they did engage the enemy, that's interesting, and shot down some things. Well, that's pretty good going. Alright, these guys, the cap. Missions. Squadrons. Missions. Don't know what that means. So Cat 101, mission log, I'm not going to read all this. Cat 102 was cancelled. Cat 108, they had a report. What was in their report? They got 1 aircraft damaged, 2 okay. Action report. They destroyed 3 aircraft. Good. They did a good job. Cat 302 was cancelled. Search number 8 report. Mission report. Okay, so these spotted 2 carriers. Info. Right, so 4 aircraft went out, 2 are okay. Does that mean I lost 2? None were damaged or killed, so I don't understand why that. I don't understand that. Spotting. Okay, there, I don't know what that means. Scramble, cancelled. There's nobody involved in that. Right, this is the one I'm worried about. I seem to have no ability to do anything about it. So it'd be nice if there was a 3D view button here. Go to this. I can't right click and do anything either. So time on target 11:37, so they've already gone over the target. I suppose I can't, that's why I can't even en route, can't do anything about that. It says en route, that to me says they're not returned yet, and yet time on target, they should have been 11:37. Okay, not too sure what that means. Cat 101 is preparing, that's fine. Now Strike 23 is in the planning, there's no one in that. Okay, let's go to the Lexington. Oh gosh, so many. Right, search report. Let's have a look, what did they get up to? Yeah, so they got 3 missing in action, 2 damaged out of 7/12, whatever that is. So did they destroy these aircraft? Or did they witness destruction? I'm assuming this is what this particular search did. I wasn't expecting the search to actually do any fighting, but they have done. Okay, so Cap 201 en route to Cap area, fine. Cap 202 cancel. Scramble cancelled. Scramble report. Let's have a look at what they did. See there, they were quite busy. This is the number they saw. It's quite a lot of aircraft, and of those they destroyed this number. But for quite heavy losses, I'm afraid. So out of a total of 9, we lost 4. That's not good. That's not a good ratio. Okay, but still. Okay, those 2 scrambles were cancelled. Planning. Right, this one I can edit. Okay, so I need to change the contact. It's contact 104. Still giving me a warning about range. Best possible time. I'm going to go, yeah, that's fine. Escort. Up the escort. Early spotting, no idea. Early spotting, I'll have to read up on that. Does that sounds a bit like some go ahead in order to spot the targets and radio back to the arrest, but I could be totally wrong what that means. It's interesting. It's saying here the target is a CV carrier. Okay. So yeah, you see I can't select. I can select different ship. Right, it looks like I can now generate another attack mission, which I will take. This must have been recovered from a previous probably search. They will come back now. Oops. Let's get them all up there. And the target is 104, and we're going to green light that, and they're going to launch in a few minutes. Except they're not. Why is that not launching? So it's not letting me green light that. Search for an enemy carry force. Yes, we know that. Why is nav strike 17 up? Let's go back here. No, this one. Nav strike 17, planning, contact 104, 40 aircraft. Okay, so that is underway. It's not taking off till 1. Yeah, okay. Okay. Complicated. Macho complicated strike. So let's go back here. Let's go to Lexington. Lexington's got plenty. We can launch another attack. I am probably being a bit, given I can't retask the fighters, am I being a bit reckless here? Okay, this one is allowing me to green light. And they will be up at 12, just after 12, takeoff starts. Wow, they're very quick to get them up. I must congratulate the crew on their speedy deployment. Not sure why loads of aircraft still have no mission on the Lexington, for example. So if we go back, there are no aircraft left for me to assign on the Lexington. So how can there be? There's two. I guess they're coming in. Right. Oh, I saw them edge forwards a bit here. I probably ought to have launched another search aircraft just to keep an eye on where these people are. Can I do that? Search. Create a new air search. Type SPD. Is this a seaplane? Carrier task force. Shadowing. Shadow priority targets. Okay. So I'm going to keep them fairly narrowly displaced. Control strength 2 is all I can muster, but still. do that. And bring their range right down. Hello. Alright. Okay. Shame I can't quite. I want to do it like a half point here. Step 20, no. Oh, I see. No, we still want 2. Okay. I'll take a gamble that we're going to be... I want these guys up as soon as possible, yes. In a minute. So this is going to be search. Doesn't give it a search number. Okay. Search 26. So we'll try and keep an eye on search 26. Let's go switch to... Well, now, so that was assigned to the Yorktown. Yeah. So... Oh, but over here I selected... So if I create a new search, will that be from the Lexington? No. Task Force 17. Seaplanes. Can I? Come on. Allow me to select the sea. Is it because it doesn't like this screen? No, it's just weirdly difficult. Oh, seaplane. Oh no, you see here I can select search. Let's create a new search. No. Okay. Clearly, I don't understand what these seaplanes are and how you're supposed to use them. Another thing I will need to go to the manual to understand. Alright, let's plough on. Oops, let's not go too fast. Because I'd like to see... Go to 3D World. I'd like to see some of these missions taking off. So the decks are active. Look there. This looks like they're getting ready. What about Lexington? She's busy as well. She's only got the one lift. That's interesting. I thought the Lexington was more advanced, but maybe not. Let's go to the Yorktown. They're preparing a flight package. And we can switch between the two quite easily. That's quite nice. So yeah, these are armed. These are armed dive bombers at the front, and they're all being wheeled back. I'm assuming there should be a load of beefy crew doing this. They don't just drive back on their own. There should be a load of crewmen pushing on the wings. Anyway, they're obviously not animated just yet. That'll be fascinating to watch when they are. Right, okay, engines are starting. What's going on with Yorktown? Wow, look at that. They're still pumping out aircraft. We'll switch to normal speed when they get going, which could be any minute. Still more coming out of the Yorktown. Look at the assembled mass here. Let's go to normal speed now. Look at the assembled mass here. So the crew wheel back another plane out. Some of these are torpedo bombers, some of them are dive bombers. I can see plenty of dive bombers. We're not seeing any torpedoes yet. They all seem to be dive bombers to me. Okay, what's going on? How about the Lexington? So the Lexington seems to be a bit further advanced. And lots of dive bombers. There's some fighters at the back. Fighter escort, I think. Still can't see any torpedoes. Do I only have dive bombers in these first couple of waves? Oh well. If I knew the aircraft better, I'd know just by looking at them. Or maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. Can these aircraft be equipped with a bomb and or torpedo? So these are the fighters, the single seat planes. And then the dive bombers have got at least 2 crew. So pilot and this would be a gunner character. So they're obviously waiting. We can see from the deck of the Lexington looking forward, we can now see the Yorktown in the distance. The deck's rolling. I don't know if we're turned into wind yet. If it's well modelled, you might be able to tell when the direction of the smoke. So according to that, we are into the wind. About 315, bearing 315. So they got the engines going on the... No, these guys are just stationary. They're still assembling what is a huge... Right, okay, these guys are going to take off shortly, I imagine, because they've got their engines going. But I'm hoping the holes in the deck are not going to cause an issue on takeoff. That would be most undesirable. So how many have we got here? 4, 8. Just count. 4, 8. So that's 12. These guys are still sat there. Look at that. I think there's not enough room left on the deck, and they're still bringing up more. Look at this. What amazing. This is all that. Look at the map of the world there. Is that based on historical... Okay, the aircraft's chopping through the scenery there, but never mind. It looks like there's more queuing up. I question whether there's enough room on the deck for the front aircraft to take off. But okay. So the Yorktown is still wheeling them out. Lexington. Oh, they're going, they're off. The first aircraft's taking off from the Lexington. And let's just see if I can... Here we are. Okay, so this is the lead aircraft taking off. There's the climbing away from the Lexington. And he's pulling a tight turn. He's probably going to have to do a bit of a circle in order to allow his crewmates, his colleagues in the strike team, to get up and join him before they all move off together. I'm assuming. Why don't they just go a bit slow and let the others catch up? I don't know. I guess you want to keep in sight of each other. So he's now overflying the Lexington as the next plane takes off. We've got a brilliant view there of the Lexington. Look at that, spectacular, what a scene. 2 carriers and the first of a pair of dive bombers getting up into the air, and then they're going to have to form up with their colleagues as they come up off the deck. I'm quite surprised how far they're launching apart. Let's go back to Lexington. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Hello, we seem to be on board the Lexington. So I thought these would be pretty much taking off like one after another. They're giving themselves quite a long time. So they don't launch. They don't even. I would have. As soon as that thing's oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong. As soon as it's got off the end of the deck, that's it. Launch the next one. And it's nearly down to the fighter escorts. So that's the two. It's just one last. It's the last dive bomber to go up. Okay, let's see how do the fighters take off one at a time as well. Following very good deck discipline. Okay, yes they do. So this guy here, he can probably take off now. Just take the risk. I suppose it would be a disaster. Like, he could go now, but no, he's waiting for this. Waiting for the non-existent crew to wave him off. Okay, so that's two fighters off, so we've just got these two last fighters to go. And meanwhile, they're still bringing out more planes. So that's interesting. These few have got folded wings. Watch out for the hole there. Ah, the ones with the folded wings are the torpedo bombers. So obviously that bit bigger, they needed to have the wings fold to fit. At least that's my theory. Let's see what they look like when the wings extend. So the ones with the non-folded wings, they are the dive bombers. And we didn't give them any escort. That's not helpful, is it? Oh well. More torpedo bombers. I'm starting to think you don't have room now to take off pretty much. What's happening on the Lexington? Right, so everything is off. That flight is all gone now. And we'll go and join them in a second. They're still assembling. This is going to be spectacular when they all start their engines. Oh, this is incredible. I've never seen this type of thing modelled in a game before. I mean, look at this. This is just an enormous attack fleet. I'm hoping this is the critical moment. We do not want any attack at this point. Right, so this is contact 015. This is hopefully that first attack. So ingress. Quigley, what's Quigley up to? Ditched. Oh dear. So now strike 9. I think those are the guys that are on the deck of the Yorktown. Now strike 16 is in planning. They're on the deck. Are they on the deck? Okay, I guess one's below deck. Now strike 17 ingress. Dive bomber. Okay, so these guys 17 aircraft. It's just that are these the guys that have just taken off? Oh. I pan out a bit. Are these the guys who just took off from the Lexington? This is now strike 17. they should have an escort. Okay, these are the escort fighters, and they look to be at a higher altitude. Where are the bombers they're escorting? Okay, well anyway, that's Knife Strike 17. Now, what would be great is if I could go to the map and see, well, where is Knife Strike 17? Is that Knife Strike 17? But it doesn't identify, and in fact, yeah. I can't zoom back in on them. I'm assuming that's the same thing as Knife Strike 17. So if I say select Quigley, okay, yeah, so that is how this map works. Oh, just to defy me. Now strike 17, so will it take me? Yes, okay, so that is now strike 17 on its merry way. And they've moved. They have moved away, almost as if they know what's coming. And let's move these guys. I'm moving the fleet onto an intercept course. Don't really need all these waypoints, but okay. So it's making 29 knots. That's pretty good. Does that mean they fixed up the Lexington? Because she had. No, it looks like it's still at 62%, and this looks like an unrecoverable. They're not going to get the other engines back up and running by the looks of it. Where did we get to? Propulsions 1 to 3. Engines 1 to 3 still out, disabled. Can they be repaired? We'll never know. Okay, Lexington, we're still doing a good job though. So, aha, here we go. Look, you can see the Yorktown now filling up. The Yorktown really is getting a bit crazy now. They're still bringing out. And look at this, we've emptied the lower decks now. There's just a handful of aircraft ready. And they are fighters, which is good. Okay. Let's go back to look at the Yorktown. Look at this, spectacular. Is this the total fleet now? Surely. Can I assign an escort to them, I wonder? I really would prefer it if I could. Let's go to the strike. Yorktown, call sign over. Let's just freeze that a minute. Now, to try and remember how this works again. No, I went to this thing, didn't I? No, it was this thing. We're on the Yorktown. Taking off, okay. Can I edit the mission? No, mission is frozen now. I can't assign. Can I assign? So I can't edit this mission now because they're busy taking off. I'm assuming that there's 37 aircraft in that. Okay, that just takes me back to that. Mission squadrons. So confusing. Okay. So I can't edit this mission now. It's greyed out. Can I from the Yorktown there are no fight, although there's some below decks, I can't assign them apparently. nothing available. Okay, that flight's going to have to make do without a fighter escort. So these guys are going to be overhead first if they get there. It's a long way to go. I probably sentenced a lot of these men to death because I've not given them, I've asked them to fly further than the fuel will allow, which is not a good tactic. Right, these guys are still sat here. Green, what does this mean? A mission is waiting for takeoff order. Click to open the strike planner. This guy, is that what that means? Right, now it's gone solid green. Spotting is in progress. Whatever that is. What is a spotting? Spotting's in progress. And okay, I don't want to suspend. That would not be good. What does that do? Oh, okay. Let's just get rid of that. Go to 3D. This is a bit silly. I have to go back, pull this panel back, then I can look at the auto. Right, engines are now running. That to me means we're going to take off shortly. This will be spectacular. 37 aircraft. Here they go. It's the first one now. Watch. Its wings are going to unfold. The hydraulics, probably hydraulics, driving the wings out into the fully open position, and that is a huge wingspan for this carrier. And just as well, it's got such large wings because only just manages to get airborne with such a short length of deck to go. So these planes have got, looks like they've got a crew of 3, although there's no one sat in the middle position. Interesting, are they all like that? Yes, they are. Now why would they not put a crewman in the middle? Either the mission doesn't require it, or it's because of the extreme range. Look at the modelling of this. Okay, so this is a little bit blocky graphics on the radial engine, but yeah, still pretty nice. Look at the ribbing, corrugated surfaces. Is this to add rigidity to the aircraft? I don't know. Or is it to do with aerodynamics? Off they go. Still a lot to go. We've only got one gun in defence on this one, which I find a bit unfortunate. This is going to be a slow, lumbering aircraft. And when it's in its attack run, it needs to hold a steady course before the torpedo is launched. So they're quite a sitting duck. And by the way, the torpedo has to be launched at low speed, unlike the dive bomber. So only having one gun at the rear is a real disadvantage. I would like to have seen it bristling with guns, because the enemy is going to know exactly. These guys have got to fly fairly uniform flight pattern up to the point of weapons release. Okay, let's see if we can latch on to this one. Okay, wheels come up. Look at that. And I think what's interesting with this design, and I'm not going to go on about aircraft design too much here, but they've got the torpedo set at an angle relative to the centre line of the fuselage. Now that will be, I imagine, it'll allow the aircraft to drop the torpedo. I mean, what it is setting the torpedo at a different angle to the centre line of the fuselage. Effectively, you can have the aircraft flying slightly nose up and still drop the torpedo pretty parallel to the water. or if the torpedo needs to go into the water, then you can be flying level and the torpedo is kind of dropped at an angle. It'll be terrible for aerodynamics to have done that, so it would have been better, but probably very difficult to achieve, to have had the torpedo sort of flat to the belly. Even recessed would have been better. I'm just looking at the layout here. Shouldn't get too obsessed with that because there'll be a lot of taking off going on from Yorktown. So let's go back to Yorktown. Hello. Yorktown. Still a lot of aircraft to get up, so looks like all the torpedo bombers have gone. Just as well, because they're probably quite slow. So now it's the dive bomber's turn. And sadly no fighter escort. Sorry about that, chaps. I didn't give you an escort. I'm hoping the enemy fleet will be in disarray by the time you arrive. Okay, so this is that strike package just taking off. And this is interesting. So are these aircraft enemy fighters or now then, am I going to be able to find these people? So this is now strike 17, which is the first of the waves, attack waves. So somewhere in this kind of view is that enemy squadron. Oh, they passed already. So I think this is another attack force. So we need to scramble the fighters. And what I'm a little bit surprised about is, well, first of all, where the heck is the combat air patrol when you need it? So I think these are enemy bombers coming out, or is it one of ours returning? Could be that we just haven't identified it yet. I shouldn't get too worried just yet. Keep an eye out. Yeah, strike package Zebra is underway. Strike force Zebra. So here it's calling it nav strike 17. How confusing can you get? Why are they not using the term Zebra, or at least put that on there? Oh, so confusing. Maybe that's how it was done. Very confusing. So these guys are on the deck apparently. Hello, there's another contact. What's going on? Who are these guys turning back? Single aircraft. Don't know whether I need to worry about them or not. Okay, so this is that's the huge flight coming off the Yorktown. Let's go to the Yorktown now. So we're still well into the taking off process. Okay, time is marching on, so I'm going to speed this up a bit. And let's go back to the map. Right, so those planes coming in have been given a blue designation, so I'm assuming that means they're friendly and they're probably coming in to recover. Yeah, they're turning around, so I imagine they're coming into land. Let's have a look at the Yorktown again. So what's coming into... So the last of the aircraft's taking off, which is good. Oh, are these the ones that have just landed? Oh no, these are the ones that have just landed. So they look like dive bombers to me. Great, so we recovered a couple of dive bombers. Good. And so strike packages are up. Let's fast forward. Okay, these guys, it's just we don't know where they are, hopefully. Not that they're lost. Wait a minute here. Surface competent. So this is a very good illustration of the Admiral's sort of information. I don't know where, I don't know what's going on. These have gone black. So this was last reported at 12:17, so just how about over half an hour ago. Why has it gone black? At first I thought that meant it's sunk, but that can't be right. But then what's this weird symbol? I can't zoom in to resolve what that's trying to show. This is clearly a carrier. What the heck is that? I don't know. And these guys, I don't know where they think they're going now, because a new unidentified surface force bearing 9. Oh, okay. So what's this? 0 ships. Now this is an hour carrier. Contact 104. Contact 120. 8 ships. That's the fleet. So can I retask a mission in the air? The Lexington got off first. Can I retask the mission off? Oh, come on. Off the Lexington. Planning contact. Edit mission. Let's go with this contact. Yeah, green light. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Did I just start a new mission? I think I retasked an existing mission. Strike 17, contact 120. Okay, now strike 18 planning, not selected, nothing in that. Okay, so now nothing I can. How can I have how can there be 2 nav strike 17s? You know, this is just terrible. Oh, what isn't it? This is coming out of the Lexington. How can there be 2 nav strike 17s? One's got 28 aircraft, one's got 12. This one is not going to take off for quite some time, is it? No, in a few minutes. It hasn't taken off yet. This one should be over the target. Should have been over the target half an hour ago. Okay. So I think what's going on here is the aircraft leave my range, so I can't tell where they are, and therefore they kind of disappear off the map. So this is like a fog of war thing. Show contact history, weather range, radar range. Okay. So I basically have to wait. This is where they're representing what happened to an admiral. So there's estimated return. Okay, I kind of have to hope that I've got things right. So the Lexington seems to have a load of aircraft assembling. Let's have a look at the Lexington. Come on, come on, come on, Lexington. Yes, another huge force. Still no escorts, oh dear. So this is the Lexington giving a bit of payback. At least that's what I hope it's going to happen, not a slaughter. And Yorktown, nothing much going on. The Yorktown, or is that the Lexington? No, this is the Yorktown. Can they mount another strike? No, is the answer to that. Oh no, wait a minute, that's the Lexington. The Yorktown. Okay. No is the answer to that. Alright, that's fine. So they're obviously steering into wind, and we've got some aircraft here. And so we literally, once our flights have left the once the aircraft have left our sort of range of radar range or whatever, that's it. They literally fall off the map because they're probably under radio silence. So we've got no way of knowing where they're going. Let me see why. Okay, so they've been reassigned a contact number. Okay, so time's marching on still. Let's go. Actually, let's stick with the map. We're going to zoom up. Oh, that was zoomed in. Right, we're going to run time forward. I'm hoping what we see is all of our aircraft coming back. So here are some aircraft being. I'm hoping these are our aircraft, 20 plus, on return route, and they will report that they've sunk the carriers. And here's another. Here's that wave coming off the Lexington, and some guys recovering. So this is the bit where the Admiral doesn't. As the Admiral, you don't get to see the action. Now, I suspect that if I could select contacts and I could select that, I could actually see the air battle over the Japanese carriers.
White leader, Bogey, Vector 140, 20 miles, Angels 10 plus.
Right, so let's stop. Okay, Angel 20 miles. So we're going to scramble now because they give me a proper warning. Yes, take off. That's from the Lexington and the Yorktown. Scramble. I don't know how many fighters I've got on deck. Probably not many. Or even below deck. Let's actually have a look, shall we? We've got 2 fighters there. 2 bombers. And that's on the Yorktown. On the Lexington, nothing. Lexington's empty. All fighters to flight deck. All fighters to flight deck. There's nothing there, if I've understood this correctly. But wait a minute, what's these guys at the front? Right, I think that's all I can do, which probably means we're in trouble. Somebody here zigzagging about. Contact 134. So search, here we go. Who's that? There's a search out there. Why is there no aircraft shown? I suppose we don't know where they are. Scramble in queue, scramble in queue. Okay, there's the two fighters off the Yorktown, I think it was. There's nobody in that scramble. Escort. Okay, so what I would like is to detach the escort, but maybe I don't have that control. So meanwhile there's dive bombers somewhere over the target, which is what you want. And the combat air patrol. Aha! So the combat air patrol is actually doing a combat air patrol thing. So there's four fighters engaging TGT. What does that mean? Engaging TGT. Something ground target, something target. Okay, let's see what this aircraft's doing. Formation. Well, can't see what he's doing. Let's speed up a bit. Nothing going on there. Okay, he's gone out. Oh, he's positively identified the aircraft, so maybe. I think this is a Japanese search aircraft with that zigzag pattern. Oh look, it shows the cat box. Fine. I'm thinking that's probably all we need to worry about, so I'm hoping that there's nothing else lurking out there. These are our aircraft being recovered, I'm hoping. They should investigate that contact, but no, they're just going past. And I'm a bit worried about that flight path of that. What is this 20 plus aircraft? This is either a disaster or this is our aircraft coming back. They've not been designated as bogies yet. Let's just hope that they're not. They're certainly going for the carrier direction, but they could be. Yes, they are. There are aircraft coming back. Good. So let's watch that in action. Fleets, the Yorktown. Assuming they're going to recover to the Yorktown. Here they come. Look at here they come in. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the torpedo bombers. Okay, so they've come back. Looks like, judging by the numbers, it looks like most of them have come back. But did they find anything? Have they discharged their weapons? Well, they've got no bombs. Whether they would dump those anyway. No torpedoes or bombs. They've either used them or dumped them. Let's hope they use them. Well, we won't find out, I suppose, until we get the report in. So, again, let's just zoom forward. No, it won't let me go beyond 40. So these aircraft are recovering. Something else taking off 2+ aircrafts. There's a bit of chaos going on down there. At least it's all our aircraft. Okay, I hadn't really appreciated how long even a single scenario was going to take. Admittedly, I did freeze the clock a few times, but still. Okay, we're going to finish in a few minutes, where we might have to have a part 3, which I hadn't anticipated. I thought we'd be over in a few minutes with part 2, but no, apparently not. Okay. Two small ships. Hello. There's only one CV there now. No ships, no ships. And who are these? These are returning? Are people returning? Let's hope so. Okay, so I've frozen it. I think we have to stop in a minute. Let's have a look. So these strike groups, one is on the way out, should be back. Should have been back ages ago. What's happened to this guy? Okay, these were due back a few minutes ago. So have I just condemned them to death because they couldn't return? That's not happy. Right, okay, Yorktown. So we saw the strike coming back. Okay, 7 aircraft returned. So I think we just saw them land, didn't we? No, that was a while ago. Let's have a look at their report. So it didn't look like a lot happened. We lost 5. That's not good. For no gain there. Debriefing, here we go. Lost a couple. Most of them came back from the Yorktown. I think that's the one we just saw landing. Okay, so this is really good news. We dropped 28 Mark 13 £1,000 bombs. They are not something you want landing on top of you. We launched 9 Mark 13 torpedoes and 56 Mark 4 £100 bombs. So those are the ones under the wings. And we damaged one of the CVs with 6 bombs, and another one, I'm assuming these are the 2 separate ones, with 13 bombs. So admittedly some of them might be £100 bombs, but still that's going to keep them out of action for a bit. Okay, so that mission was a real success. I'm getting seconds. Contact 104. They came back a while ago, so let's try 30. Okay, so that was Nav Strike 9, did a really good job there. Nav Strike 16 were the one that didn't do anything much, nothing to report. Probably because they were aiming at the wrong contact, so that's not their fault really. 23 is in planning, there's nothing there. Search on routes. Strike 14 is in nothing. Okay. So we're going to launch everything. It's a load of dive bomber. Oh no, we have some torpedo bombers. Might do a good job. And pick targets. Now remember, I can't, once they're off, I can't retask them. So what do I want to do here? Oh, okay, there's the carrier force. Let's go with that. 350 nautical miles. Why can I not? They're out of fuel. What? This is crazy. Why are they so heavily out of fuel? We've closed the range, haven't we? I think this is adjusting for my course. Okay, there seems no point tasking. I'm not launching a task force. Let's do a search. So clearly you need to keep these searches going. I'm looking for a carrier. Shadow priority targets. SPD. Can I choose other things? No. And let's broaden this out a bit. 2 is all I can manage apparently, but that looks good to me. Let's bring the range down. Desire takeoff any minute basically. I would quite like to broaden that angle a bit. No, that's not that. That. Broaden it a bit more. Is that too broad? I'm going to take a chance. Accept that. Can I get something off the Lexington? Let's go with 4. Carrier task force. Shadow priority targets. Accept. Okay, so right, I think we're going to call it a day there, which I didn't expect. As I said, I thought that we'd be done with this in a few minutes because I thought both carriers were going to be knocked out, but I hadn't accounted for the fact they could be repaired back to full operational status. Even the engines, having lost a couple of engines, we're still doing a good 20 knots currently. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. Let's save this while I remember, and we'll call this episode 2. There we go. So let's finish with a view on the Lexington, the Yorktown. There we go. Quite the mix-up going on. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but as we sail into the afternoon of May the 8th, 1942, the Battle of Coral Sea is now well underway. Both sides have had a crack at each other. Both sides have suffered hits to their carriers, and I'm not convinced that I've knocked out the Japanese carriers. We know we dropped a few bombs. One of them got 28 hits according to the report, but there's no way I can guarantee that they're out of action, and we're still getting reports of them being sighted. So it looks like this battle is going to carry on into the late afternoon. Now, from my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, carrier operations don't tend to go on at night. Not for the US Navy and the Japanese Navy, at least. Probably not for the British Royal Navy either. So in World War II, sunset means the end of carrier operations. Now it's 3:30 in the afternoon now, and where is the sun? Assuming this is all modelled correctly, which I'm sure they spent the time to do that, it looks to me like we've got quite a few hours left of sunlight. Certainly enough time to get off another couple of waves, basically get everything recovered and launch out another wave, and then hopefully get them back before sunset. What's going on the Japanese side we can't know, unfortunately, or at least maybe we could know if I think this is the okay. You see, one tactic would be, these guys are all on deck. One tactic would be to pick see, these are coming back. I'm hoping they've got the range to recover, and I haven't sent them to their deaths. So that's them there. And oh my goodness me, have I made a major blunder here? I think I've completely missed a trick here, because the aircraft are expecting us to be here and we are not. That is concerning, because these guys are we're going to run out of fuel. Okay, so that's very sad. I think I might, if they're low on fuel, and they're in the wrong part of the sea, that's a problem which I hadn't appreciated. So I think this this is my error, and it's probably because I didn't anticipate it would be that I had. You see these guys. They're coming to the end of their waypoint here. Torpedo bombers. That's the cap. So if I go to 3D, what are they actually doing? Just flying along, expecting to see carriers, and the carriers are not where they are looking. Oh, they're turning. Does that mean they're heading in the right direction now? Yes, they are heading in the right direction, but can they get back in time? I'm concerned. Alright, well, that's a bit of a cliffhanger. Will they get themselves back on the deck before they run out of fuel? Probably. If I knew what I was looking for, I could find that information out for Nav Strike 17, which is off the Lexington. Both were due back some time ago, so that's not good. And if they had very little fuel reserve, even as some of the missions they were launched with virtually no fuel reserve, means that they're in trouble now.
Romeo, White Leader, bogey, vector 020, 30 mile, Angels 10 plus.
Yeah. Okay, so I can just keep watching this for hours. I'm going to leave it there for tonight, and we will rejoin the fight. I've saved it actually, so perhaps I should save it again just to so I don't have to repeat myself. Let's save under episode 2, overwrite. Okay, let's quit while we're ahead. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll resume operations from the Yorktown and the Lexington, and we'll discover whether these Nav Strike 17 makes it back to the deck safely, or is lost at sea because of poor planning by the Admiral. And with that, we will bid a farewell.